Hey, Captain Ross Robertson with Big Water Fishing. You know, springtime means jig fishing for a lot of us, and really jigs work all year. But the stinger hook is the thing a lot of guys, I think, overlook. Probably at least half the fish, whether I'm guiding or fishing in a video we just shot, came on this stinger hook, if not more than half. And so I want to talk about stinger hooks and different types of setups, because a stinger hook is just not a simple stinger hook. Here's kind of a homemade one of my buddies made. You can see he's got a little crimp there. He did it with really heavy mono, like 20-pound test. And then he dipped it in a rubber solution there, and that's actually over a split ring, which is kind of a neat deal. And that stays on really nice. And the nice thing about making them is you can tailor the length, the weight, all that stuff, put a little bit better hook in there, like a really nice VMC hook. A lot of guys put cheap hooks on their stinger hooks. Again, when that hook is the one catching at least half my fish, I use a really good one, so sometimes I do make my own. You know, this is more of a traditional one. It's kind of doesn't have that split ring, and it's dipped in that same kind of rubber solution, but because that line is just around there, these break a lot. We actually broke one during a jigging show we just shot last week. And so this is not my favorite, but that kind of system or setup, you know, you buy these to have some extras or whatever, that's another option. Show you another way to store these pretty good. Got a little clam, it's made for ice jigs, but works really good for stinger hooks. Again, another type that you can buy. This has got a wire keeper on it, and again, it's still got that kind of rubber eye on there. Again, so that's gonna stay on. But if you ever use those much, you're gonna realize that once you put that rubber eye on there, it's pretty much done. Once you pull that on and off a few times, that stinger hook is done. So whether you're changing weights, colors, whatever it may be. And the problem is then you put those in your box and you've got a hot mess, and those hair jigs, or really any type of jig, are trying to take the plastic off and change it if it gets ripped up on, you know, something like this here. So I'd like to have them where they're removable, and that's where it comes in a really neat deal. So these are probably some of the more commonly looked after their stinger hooks. And you notice they have that little just eye on, the little clip eye. And that's what I use for ice fishing a lot, because I'm gonna clip onto a wire eye on a jigging spoon or something like that, for example. That little eye is also made for clipping onto little short shank jigs that have a separate eye just for the stinger. There are, you know, a lot of jigs, VMC has them that are made specifically for a stinger attachment. But here's the kind of cool part, is VMC makes this little cap there. That little rubber cap goes over that metal cap, so that you can actually put the hook through that rubber deal. The thing is you don't ruin the whole thing. And these caps are, these crossover caps, they call them VMCs, are very inexpensive. So if you do ruin that, you just pop it off and you still have your stinger hook good to go. So I like to store them right like this, take them out of the package there. If not, you put them in that little like clam box. But a lot of different ways to have your stinger hooks. But if you're gonna make your own, think about using that split ring trick, using that little rubber dip, but use a good quality hook. I like those VMCs myself. Check out some of those red line hooks. They are crazy sharp.